It's like I can't walk on the ceiling. Oh yeah, got me dreaming, dreaming in colors I never dreamed in. Oh yeah, I let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Fell in love with my broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know what my heartbeat needed, skipping out, no I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Oh, magic. No, I'm never letting go. Now that I have it with you. When you kiss me, it's like the stars fall out the sky onto my heart to cover up what I don't wanna show. I let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Fell in love with my broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know what my heartbeat needed, skipping out, no I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Oh, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, yeah, you take me higher, baby.
Welcome to Radical Truth to Power, the progressive news show with Let's Be S3. I am your host, Marlon Clyburn, with Theus Robinson in the house. And on today's show, what we discussed yesterday, we will be talking about the 1-year anniversary of the terrorist attack. You can call it insurrection if you want to. It is what it is. And just for this, we're going to talk about, oh man, I forgot the title of it. Do you know your love language? The series. We're going to get into that. I'm going to try to fit everything into the first hour so we can not make this so long and we can just move on into watch the Foxy videos and head up out of here, because for the next 5 days I'll be waking up to 30-something degree weather. No need to wake up and be cold and sleepy.
Yeah, it's time for the weather to drop. Ours dropped.
How's the sound? I forgot to put this on. That sound better?
Yeah.
All right. Well, without further ado, let's get this party started. Hey, let's see who's in the house already.
Mickey.
Hello, Mickey. Hey, Tracy.
Hey, Tracy.
Tracy Carson Media. And then Mickey saying hello to Marlon Diaz. Hey, Tracy.
Don't forget to like.
Like, hit that like button. Like it. Whether you do or don't. Like it anyway. So we're going to get into the terrorist attack. And I said last night that I was going to show the video that I showed last week. Apparently, I can't find the video. I blame the CIA. But something happened where I can't find the video anymore. So what I did find, what some are saying was the initial attack. The whole, what started it all. So there's a report that was the initial run in. We never did see the beginning of it. At least I didn't. I saw the middle and them going down the hallway and people climbing up the damn wall. I have no idea what the hell that was about. Even to this day, the doors right there. And stuff like that. So that was the initial attack. And my first thought when I saw it was, first of all, let me go back to go forward. My first inkling was everybody who was involved didn't plan it. Everybody who was involved, I think a good sum of people got swept up in the assignment. That's not excusing any of them at all. You had plenty of time to turn your ass back around and leave, especially when you saw the chaos. You just wanted to be part of the group now, and if it would have worked, you'd have been really happy. That you, even if you did nothing, you could have. I was there like a freaking T-shirt. I was there. But it just seemed like at the very beginning, it just looked like the people who was planning on doing this was sort of like, this is moving really slow. Man, I got a whole group of people on us. Hey, get back up into a frenzy. Hey, let's just go ahead and just bum rush. They can't stop us all. And they crashed on through. This.
Nah, I'm not gonna be much use on this segment because I'm like Benghazi.
What?
All right, so the way they described Benghazi was there was a protest that was coming towards the compound of the I forgot what you call those things. You know, the government outposts. And then they overran the security and 3 people, I think, died. Right?
Mm-hmm.
What makes this any different? This was a protest that then proceeded to move towards the compound, overwhelmed security. 5 or 6 people died. They call the other group terrorists, even though they weren't sure if they had a political motivation, or it's simply because you kind of invaded their country and they attacked you. Versus here, we know it was a clear political motivation, which fits the definition of the terrorist attack. Benghazi. So,
Well,
yeah. So,
I
like you
think
were
that,
saying, some people got swept up. I don't care if they did.
I don't care.
We
They
don't care
didn't.
if Barack Obama and whomever else makes their decisions. They ain't really care when they drop a bomb on somebody on a moped.
I don't care if they got swept up in. Like I said, you could have turned around a long time ago when you saw this. You could have been excited and everything and blah, 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 and everything else. And you could have clearly looked to see, oh, wait, what the hell? They busting windows and doors and everything. They walking in. I don't want to be no part of that. I got to get up out of it. But you didn't.
Yep. You could
You didn't
stand
do it.
still. You could have worked to get to the outside edges so you didn't get trampled. There's a lot of things you could have done. You chose not to do it. So I don't care.
Nope. The only thing I care about right now is accountability.
And I don't think that's going to happen. So, because I have nothing to tell me that it will. So until something does, that's just kind of where I am on this. Of course, we can state the obvious. If this was any other group, then they would have reacted differently.
We're gonna get to that.
But this wasn't some other group.
We're gonna get to that. Because my deal is I'm 50-50 on the accountability thing. I'm 50-50 only for the fact that I know the background of getting a smaller fish so you can get the bigger fish. I've been in that area from time to time.
Well, they're doing that with the militia groups.
Yeah, but my issue with that though is, or are they getting the smaller fish because you damn well can't get the big fish? And you're just getting the smaller fish to say that you're doing something.
They're getting the small fish because they were easy to get to.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And then they'll try to, like the regular people, quote unquote regular people, it ends there. That's why they got little slap on the wrist. Boy, you were being just downright mischievous there, buddy. You need to think about what you did. And then they have some of the more organized groups, and they're going to make examples out of some of them, but they're still not going to move and disband these organizations, because at the end of the day, these organizations are reflections of something bigger and more entrenched. So the FBI is not going to try to actually tear these things apart. They're going to try to infiltrate them so that they can then monitor them and try to curb some other behavior that has yet to happen. See, Jan 6 already happened. And that's going to be to the detriment of us all.
How long are we going to monitor them, those things?
I don't know about if I can use the term we. They
They
worry about
will.
us. They will call me and you. They will call people like me and you black identity extremists. They developed a whole division in the FBI to monitor people like us.
Yeah. Not in America, the great. I'm doing Tracy's voice. Not in America, the greatest country ever. Yeah. A criminal breaks into your house and the owner dies. Every one of the criminals is held responsible for the death, including the getaway driver. Yeah, but that's common sense, Mickey. And
yeah,
we don't
regular
use
law.
common sense in there. Everything has to have an analogy. Everything has to have nuance where there isn't nuance. This is right here is what I say, I don't know about the criminal system in America to begin with when everything goes perfect. That's why it had to go perfect. You had to have the film and you had to have the interviews and you had to have the witnesses and everything like that. We got film, we got interviews and everything. We got film out the wazoo about this situation.
But they got people they don't want to actually have to deal with.
That's my point.
You don't want to have to deal with the identity of the country, because then you have to deal with a bigger problem. See, when you can otherize everything and you can say it's the black people. Well, yeah, it's the black people. They've had a bad go of it here in America. So it only makes sense that they're going to be more rambunctious and do things. So we got to make sure we monitor them so that they don't get out of control. But that's them over there. And they deal with every other group. But now they have to look at Red Rock core Americans, aka regular white people, not your militia members, not your Klan members, just this guy before he showed up on January 6th ran a local store. They don't want to deal with that. No, they don't want to deal with that.
That's why you see a lot of them getting 30 days in jail and 10 days in jail and pushing the 10 days, really.
But then
I'm pushing the 30 days, 10 days in jail and all this other stuff.
But let you commit any level of a crime or even be party to a crime where a police officer dies. You're getting life. Off top, you're getting life. But here, one officer died on the scene. Another one died after the fact from his injuries, if I understand correctly, because Sicknick, I think, died on the scene. Or no, he died shortly thereafter. He died as a consequence. And then you had another like 3 or 4 officers who committed suicide. So, and you had 140 plus with varying degrees of injury. You haven't seen any level of harm to police forces like that from anyone else in this country since maybe Prohibition.
Yeah, good old Blue Lives Matter at its best.
Yeah.
So this next video I'm going to show, I'm just going to say a small group of people. A small group of people didn't realize how real it was. I told you yesterday or the day before, whichever the days are rolling into there was military presence on the ground, but their job wasn't to, well,
their job wasn't riot control. The person who shot was actually part of personal detail for Congress, but I'm like, hey, look, everything about that scene you just showed, that is a mob attacking the building, a government facility, and using force and weapons to break into the interior. They literally acted like, oh wait, he had a gun. Did you know they had guns? Billy, did you know? Who told him to have a gun? Boom. Oh, I guess they serious.
This was I got a same thing, but I got a different take on it. This, in my opinion, this was white privilege at its finest. This was, hey, I'm going to tear this place up and everything else because it's my right. Wait a minute, you got a gun. How dare you have a gun? You're obviously not going to use that gun. Pow. Apparently you are going to use this gun. Okay, I got to leave now. Because apparently my skin tone ain't finna cover me this time.
Yeah, but I don't think when they were doing it that they were even thinking about it front mind of my skin tone. I mean, we know that's what it was, right? Because it took being white to even get that far. Okay. But there's a real belief system in that community that they own this country. Yeah. That's why they wild out at the store and say, you work for me. That's why they wild out on the phone and think they can talk to you any old kind of way. That's why they confront you in stores. and think you're supposed to respond to them as though they have some level of authority or importance instead of being little punk, weak, I don't care nothing about your existence, your children, your mama, your daddy, nobody you ever thought about, you're all dirt and spit to me when you step to me like that. They don't think like that. So this was, like you said, white privilege and white supremacy in the same place at the same time.
Yep.
And what we're watching politically is white privilege still trying to make sense of it all, even though white supremacy is not confused and they're still working on what they're working on.
And it's the same people that walked out after they decide, hours later to use tear gas.
It was a 3-hour attack, man. How is a 3-hour attack? Come on, man.
But it was still dumbfounding when first of all, let me make this perfectly clear. The girl was lying.
What girl?
The girl came out with tears in her eyes and, was you at there? Yeah, I was there and everything else. They used tear gas. Well, why was you there?
Oh, that lady. I remember
our country back and everything else. And I was sitting there listening to her and I was like, yeah, that's white privilege because this woman really thinks she did nothing wrong.
Well, it's not only that, but she thinks that there should be no consequence for what she does.
Well, that's what I mean. She didn't do anything wrong, so why are you using tear gas on us?
Yeah. You do that to other people. You don't do that to me.
You do that to us,
Like the lady who came down on the private jet and said and was making a joke saying she ain't gonna get in trouble. She's white and she's got blonde hair. And they gave her a jail sentence. It was a short one, but she knew. I'm gonna fly down here. It's gonna be like a party because ain't nothing gonna happen to me. Look at me. I'm Barbie's auntie. I'm Barbie's mama.
What are you gonna do to me?
She ain't even. Well, they don't get into all that, but still, yeah. So
no, I'm not personally.
No, I'm saying like in her mind, right? Yeah, but I'm just saying
in her mind, I'm cute, blonde, blue-eyed, white. What are you gonna do to me?
I'm the prototype.
Yeah,
and so she wasn't wrong. Is the thing.
No, well, and I said that when they even did the sentencing because it was what she get 30 days to.
She got something ridiculous. And then remember there's another one that they got and they let her go on vacation and come back.
Yeah, that was like everybody cheering. Oh, you ain't got it all. I'm like, dude, she partially right considering that all she got was 30 days. And don't get it twisted because I don't have any proof of this. I just believe this. I really don't even think she would have got the 30 days if she'd have kept her mouth shut.
She probably wouldn't have.
I think this was the judge just going, oh, wait a minute. You ain't finna make me look like a fool 30 days. If she'd have kept her mouth shut,
at worst, she would have got a paper probation.
Yeah.
But hey, that's where, like, I know it's been said so many times, this is why I don't typically bring it up. But no, we wouldn't get the same treatment. And what I would like is for us, meaning anyone who is not of the preferred white community, to realize, stop acting surprised by that. You know what I'm saying? Like being surprised that somebody gets preferential treatment when you know they're going to get preferential treatment is like being surprised that somebody's shooting and you're in a war. Duh. That's why you're fighting. But,
you still have people who don't want to face. If they never had to go through it, they figure everybody else didn't have to go through it either, regardless of who you are.
I think people don't want to face anything because then they got to do something.
That too.
And that's scary.
So these next two videos is a different look of the attack. So this is not a look of the attack itself. This is looking from the view of the house and the house people themselves.
They broke the glass? Everybody stay down. Get down. Oh my God, they got fire on them.
Respond to the house for ASAP.
What do you need?
I'm good.
Are you okay?
I'm good. I can't.
I'm finna pull a Thea's face for just one of the sections. You in the background doing all that damn loud ass praying. Shut the fuck up. And obviously none of y'all grew up in the hood. Sorry, but not sorry. I'm hearing noise out there. I'm hearing chaos, and then I heard what I thought was a shot. Yeah, I'm not sitting down anymore. Either I'm on the floor or I'm out the door. Pick which one. But me sitting there, y'all didn't grow up where I grew up. Sorry. Go ahead, Theo. I'm sorry.
No, a couple things. First, I thought it was hilarious when I'm looking at this is obviously from the Democratic side, because it had whatever that lady is. But that lady had a whole bag over her head. It just makes me think back.
Just more, but go ahead.
No, it makes me think back to how we were during Corona in the beginning. People just it looks wild now, right? And then then I'm like, well, you ain't even got a mask on. Why you ain't got a mask on? Other people around you got a mask on. You're supposed to be a Democrat who's supposed to believe in never mind. So there's that. And then you got the lady who was out there wishing as loud as she could, and I mean that's cool. I mean, I'm not one for praying in the moment for divine intervention, because if God was going to do something, He already would have did it. I wouldn't be in this situation right now. So if I'm gonna do a prayer, it's going to be a personal one, saying, "Lord, give me strength to make the right decisions and rise to the occasion." I'm not going to sit here and be like, "Hey, everybody, come." God send somebody magical. No, God sent you. You there. So either you need to get out of there or you need to do something with it. That's just my view of that. Because like for me, that's so what you gonna die praying? What you gonna do? That's what you're gonna do? You're just gonna sit still? You're gonna sit there and die praying? That's not against people who pray. Like I said, people have different belief systems. My view of prayer is shit didn't hit the fan, Lord. Give me what I need to rise to the occasion.
Get out of here.
Thank you. Because either I'm going to be the one to help lead people out, or I'm going to be the one to help lead people through. But we're going to save Bible study for later.
Yeah. Hey, Anna.
Hey, Anna.
YouTube's notification thing is a hit or miss. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't.
Yeah. But if we were in a situation where people got, shoot Oh yeah. Yeah,
The
we never would have got through the first round. The first gates where they were pushing against the cops, it would have been done there.
We would have got shot at the gate. That was what pissed me off the most. Was as soon as we broke through. Let's go back. If it was us, the military would have been there.
Right, we would have had the same response that they had for us.
The National Guard would have been there.
Just weeks before, remember that when there was a Black Lives Matters rally at the Capitol, didn't even get to the steps, and they had to picture all of them in their riot garb and all that stuff. So we know how it would have went down. Everybody knows, but that's what America is. So plan accordingly.
Yeah. So, but to answer,
Jayapal, that's who that was. Thank you.
Oh, that was Jayapal. But to answer the rest of your sentence, Mickey, as soon as we'd have bust through that gate, there would have been bodies on the floor.
Oh, that wouldn't even have been an insurrection. It'd have been over in minutes.
Yeah. That's the bottom line to it. So here's the second background look at from the viewpoint of the House Representatives.
Where are we going?
Rayburn.
Rayburn?
Underground. The mascot, trying to recognize everybody. A long way from the Florida House. A long way.
First of all, to answer your question, because I just saw what that was, I thought it was plastic bags on their head, and I'm thinking,
They're a little cheap gas mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because my first thought was, so you're going to protect yourself from gas coming in with no oxygen inside now, because you're running out real quickly. But now that I saw that thing in the front,
the little filter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I mean, for real. Look, come on. I've seen elementary schools evacuate a building better than that. Come on, man. This is our leadership. This is our
prepared for it. They weren't prepared for it.
This is the leadership that we're sending up there. Us, the octogenarians and the septuagenarians, or however the right way you say that word, and people who are busy looking at their phone instead of trying to figure out a way to get out the building, and
because they still think they're safe.
Yeah, whatever.
They still. Sorry, I'm serious. They
don't take it seriously.
Nothing actually really hit them until they was able to get on the floor.
I'm glad no one got hurt outside of law enforcement, but I almost wish someone had, because then perhaps it'd have been a different mood. See, it's still those other people who got hurt. See what I'm saying? Like, it's still police got hurt. They're supposed to be the ones that get hurt. They're the defenders. But what if they had gotten Romney? What if they had gotten Pence? What if they had gotten, you know what I'm saying? It would have been a whole different thing, and America would have responded a whole different way. But it didn't touch them. It just scared them. And people get over fear real quick when the threat's gone. Then you can get back to normal and play make-believe. Pardon me.
That's YouTube. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I don't know about getting responses.
Absolutely not, Anna. No, they're not. No, they're not. They ain't gonna do no drill at all.
I think the last time they would have done a drill was before this January 6th.
It was a one-time incident. They would rather now bump up security. the way it was supposed to be to begin with before they. Let me put it to you this way. It is the same thing I've always said about Republicans. They ain't never going to get their hands dirty. They always just give you the marching orders and let whatever happens, happens.
It's not
Senate,
real until it touches
Congress,
them.
military, people like that, it's the same way. I'm not going to get my hands dirty, i.e. I'm not going to start learning drills. What I'm going to do is bump up security and everything else and let them do their job and hope nothing happens. But you think I'm going to work any harder than what I've been doing? You got people, they got a metal detector for guns, and every day that thing goes off. You can't even leave your gun at home. You think they're going to actually do drills?
The Republican response to these types of things is, like you said, increase the security, add more guns, add more layers of protection, not address any of the issues that actually create the problem, because that would actually involve me. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'd have to do something. No. I need you to go do something. And that's what it is. So, whatever. But so long as people want to sit here and be like, I didn't get everything I want on my Christmas list, so I'm not going to participate, or I'm going to throw a fit as though the person on the other side cares that I'm mad. We're going to keep getting inept people in Congress. We're going to get more of them in there. And there you go. They ain't got to worry about another attack. They already have Congress. So yeah, go ahead with your standing on your principles, everybody. Stand on your principles. And don't worry about voting anymore, because they're going to make sure you don't have to worry about that.
That's not principle. That's emotion. But we already know that. So never mind. I don't want to even get into it. But I am going to get into this. And I got 2 more videos. 3 more videos on this subject. And then we're going to get off because, like I said, I done got to the point now. I really hope we're not treating this like another 9/11 thing where we look back upon the
we're going to have an anniversary every year, dog.
Oh, crap.
But see, September 11th, though, that changed how we travel. That changed how we get our IDs and our security measures. That changed how our monitoring and domestic surveillance does. 9/11 changed a lot of stuff. January 6th is just going to be another thing that we have this stupid remembrance that clogs up the news channels each year. But nothing changes.
Nothing. That's what I mean. Good God, I don't want to see this every year. I don't want to see anything that's not going to make an immediate change. I didn't mean to say that.
It gives elected officials a chance to make a speech.
Once again, it was just bumping up security. There was not going to be a terrorist attack this year because they were smart enough to get security.
There wasn't going to be another terrorist attack because there wasn't an election to affect. See, they kept playing this game with people because people are so easily manipulated. The media is like, what if there's another January 6th? It's 1 year old. Like, the people who are trying to fight you are committed to a calendar. They're committed to outcomes and objectives. Think about it. I mean, just think about it. Why did they attack on the day that they attacked? Because they wanted to interrupt the counting of the votes. This January 6th, were there any votes to interrupt? No. It would have just been like, hey, let's just show up to get arrested, everybody.
You don't move me to thank God it ain't but 3 more videos. The next video I've already shown you before, but I just want to make this perfectly clear, which is why I'm showing it again, is the coverage from Fox News of the terrorist attack.
The tourist visit.
Now, no one was injured in this incident, but they could have been. This is a serious incident. Obviously, it's incredibly scary to feel that your workplace is under attack, unless your workplace is the Capitol. Then, according to many, many Fox hosts, it's not such a big deal.
99% of them, 100%, 99% of them were peaceful.
You don't see people hiding bombs or using bayonets. You see people walking around and taking pictures. They don't look like terrorists, they look like tourists.
They were there to support the President of the United States and defend our republic and stand up and say, I just want a fair shake.
The insurrection at the U.S. Capitol. It wasn't insurrection. It was a political protest that got completely out of control.
For best performance in an action role, the winner is Michael Fanon.
At Fox, when the target is a Christmas tree at their workplace, it is a sacrilege. But when the target is the seat of American democracy, it's not. The whole of Congress, as they certify a presidential election that was fair and secure. When the perpetrators are Trump supporters in the thousands, 4 of whom died that day. When the victims are police officers, 140 of whom were injured. And when 5 police officers have died in the wake of the attack, including 4 by suicide. When Fox's own colleagues had to take cover inside the Capitol complex on January 6th, Fox downplays the attack, and in many cases, flat out doesn't cover it, ignores that it ever happened. Just imagine if Fox hosts could muster for an armed attack on the Capitol the same outrage that they did for their Christmas tree. Perhaps some of the almost half of Republicans who think January 6th was a legitimate protest might actually see it for what it really was.
They put more emphasis in that little fucking burning tree than the terrorist attack. And yeah, I get the whole mentality of, but you know who they talking to. I get that they're talking to their public. I'm just playing make believe, and I'm talking to their public too. They put more damn emphasis in a fucking burning tree that you can replace than a terrorist attack on the Capitol. And let's be perfectly clear, we're not even talking about just a terrorist attack. These fuckers was going in there to murder. Period. You can sit there all day long and talk, they're just trying to save democracy. No, they was going in there to kill people. And we ain't finna play that game up, not all of them. Which ones then? You can't tell me, and I can't tell you either. Because all I see was a mob. So I'm not gonna sit here and play games of pick and choose which one of these group of individuals, which one of them was going in there to kill. Because somebody was going in there to kill. They hung a noose in the garden. I don't think it was idle threats. But the tree in our democracy, the tree's burning. This is an attack on our. It's almost like Pearl Harbor. Wait a minute, but the insurrection ain't like Pearl Harbor. How dare you say that, Biden?
That's the part
I don't
people
know
need to
about
hold
more
on
mad
to.
at Fox or you people that still believe the crap that comes out of their mouth.
That's part of the problem, man. Which is why I don't care about January 6th. I just don't. I look at the communications and I try to reinterpret that for what I need to know. And what I need to know is that I'm dealing with an opposition that will say anything and be on any side of an argument so long as it's opposite wherever I'm at. So at that point, it doesn't matter what they say. It literally doesn't matter. I know their intentions. And I'm gonna deal with that.
And I'll piggyback on what you said. They support the blue as long as they support them.
Yeah, basically.
Because there is a report from one of the cops who was doing testimony in front of the House committee, and I remember him saying that one of the guys did walk up to him and go, which side are you on, brother? Indicating we finna fuck some stuff up. We just need to know if you gonna be an ally or a victim.
That's always been the case. That's why I keep saying I don't care, because I just don't, man. It's like the police as an organization have been the terrorists and the abusers and the executioners and the jailers of my community since the beginning of their existence. I'm not all of a sudden going to become their friend because they were on the wrong side of a terrorist attack. I'm against that they attacked the Capitol. I'm against that someone who's just showed up to do their job that day ends up being on the other end of that and gets killed or harmed or what have you. I'm against all that. But I'm not pro-cop all of a sudden.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No, and that was the deal.
They always want to do that. They want to do this thing. That's why, like, I'm sorry, Marlon, but that's where I always go back to what Malcolm used to try to get through to our heads. The country doesn't want you. Why do you want something more than it wants you? How dare we say our country, our president, our military, when all of those things are readily turned against you at the drop of a dime to kill you, crush your spirit, and harm your children? But you don't have the wherewithal to stay mad. You can't function on more than one level. You can't get beyond some elementary garbage of, well, now it's time to be patriotic. There's layers to this. You can feel for the pain that is inflicted on an innocent person and still not back the organization that is trying to harm you.
You took the words out of my mouth. I hate that those cops got hurt, but I hate that the cops got hurt from a human perspective.
Because if it had been us, like, let's go back to if it had been us, those same cops would have been the ones pulling the trigger,
gunning us down.
So let's
make something perfect. Let's make something literally perfectly clear. While we're counting the 30 days that these people are getting for the insurrection, if it was us, that number would have been.
Now you'd be thrown away.
One out of what, 1,000 maybe?
You'd be a political prisoner.
1 out of 2,000?
How do you say it? Mumia Abu Jamal, right? From the Black Panther Party. Still in prison. Still in prison. He ain't killed nobody. So they can miss me with all that. They can miss me with all that, because when I know that you would have been the same one that would have been beaten in skulls, and you the same ones that would have cleared the square for Donald Trump to cross the street to take a picture. I can't feel for you.
Don't say it yet.
I can't feel for you. I'm sorry.
Don't say that yet. Don't say that yet. 2 more videos. And I had to show this video. I was back and forth on showing this video. I just wanted to show how cowardly these people are.
Former President Trump's actions preceded the riot were a disgraceful dereliction of duty.
If the president was the party's nominee, would you support him?
The nominee of the party? Absolutely.
The president bears responsibility for Wednesday's attack on Congress by mob rioters.
No one said we'd win seats. You know why we won that? President Trump worked on all these races.
President's language and rhetoric often goes too far. I think yesterday in particular, the president's language and rhetoric crossed a line, and it was reckless.
The millions and millions of people inspired who went to battle fighting alongside President Trump, and they're terrified. And they want him to go away. Let me tell you this right now, Donald J. Trump ain't going anywhere.
What the president did on January 6th, to me, is inexcusable. He shouldn't have done it.
Do you want him to continue to be the very public leader and face of the Republican Party?
Well, I think he will be, Tony, because he's got a high approval among Republicans. And, you know, we as a party have to focus, in my view, on the policies and the ideals that, you know, frankly, in the 2020 election, others did quite well.
When it comes to accountability, the president needs to understand that his actions
We're the problem, not the solution. I'm not worried about the next election. I'm worried about getting through the next 14 days. To the Republican Party, if you want to win and stop a socialist agenda, we need to work with President Trump. We can't do it without him.
First of all, let me get this out of my system. Shut the hell up, little Lindsay. God, every time I see you, dude, y'all the cryingest group of damn people I've ever met in my life. For y'all to try to even come up with this, now there's a new thing, with this new alpha male bull crap. Y'all the wimpiest people I've ever met in my life. Y'all don't stick by Jack.
And yet we're losing to them. So
y'all will flip in a damn heartbeat depending on who. God almighty.
but the left is losing to them. So
grow a pair. Dang.
Just saying.
Y'all some wimps. Y'all are a group of wimps. You can't even stick to anything. I have never seen people change their mind because of a poll.
Well, that's what politicians do.
Now my second rant. Let it go, Tracy. Because it ain't happening. And Thea's already got you that we ain't finna show that girl. Let it go, Tracy. We ain't showing that grown little girl. Yeah, okay. I couldn't remember the person's name, but yeah, I remember that.
He's from here in Georgia.
Yeah. And what did he do after that came out? Poof. Now we don't want to talk about the subject anymore.
Nope.
By the way, they probably got that from Trump too. Trump was very good at just throwing crap out there, and if he gets negative feedback, he'll just pretend he never said it or was taken out of context, or we're just going to ignore it.
Well, the mainstream and national media, or legacy media, as I guess they're being called now, they're not going to follow up on it. So who cares? Oh, I said that? That's what you say I said. Fake news.
Fake news, yeah.
It's on video. So I'm not answering any more of your questions because you're not trying to ask fair questions. This is what they do.
Mickey, that's why you keep getting banned off Facebook. You keep messing with these people. I ain't got time to put a meme together. I'll just call you a bunch of wimps and move on about my business. So I do apologize for stopping you from talking about.
No, it's cool, bro. We gotta keep it moving.
Because I have a video of that situation. And this clearly is the reason why I still care about the attack on the Capitol.
I think for a lot of people of color in this country, we're thinking, what would have happened if those rioters were black? What would have happened if it was a black man behind Nancy Pelosi's desk with his feet up on the table? I was there for the massive protests and peaceful demonstrations happening here in Washington, D.C.
What are they doing? Are they shooting them?
It was a double standard playing out right in front of us. When the president decided to walk out of the White House and over to St. John's Church, we watched as law enforcement forcibly removed peaceful protesters. We watched as tear gas, pepper balls were deployed. We watched and we saw people running on Capitol Hill. I did not feel very much police presence. And as the chaos was unfolding, I did not see very much police presence. I saw Capitol Police being outnumbered and being overwhelmed.
Hey, no, you gonna hold that. That is why I still care. And I'm not saying that I want them. Oh, let me finish. I'm not saying because I've had some about, so you wanted them to be tear gas and pepper sprayed and everything. No, you people's mentality of thinking that I want the negatives to be equal is just asinine to me. I want the positive to be equal. You tear gas, beat up, roughed up, however you want to put it, so this moron can go in front of a church that didn't invite them, hold a Bible upside down, and take a photo op. And make one thing perfectly clear when I say that, for no apparent reason other to for him to send a message out because I can do it. That's it. It wasn't anything. He just wanted to take a photo op. He just wanted to do. But no, he was shooting a bullet across the bow, saying, "See what I can do? I can clear you out in seconds and take a mediocre, non-important photo just because I can. Vote for me."
Well, this opinion is different than Marlon's and is the opinion of Theus Robinson of Complex Mind, Simple Man. I'm actually okay with the negatives being equal. I'm like this: either raise the floor or lower the ceiling. Another way of putting it, make us all white or make us all black. I don't care which way you go. It's your call. But that's what I'm talking about. If you're not going to shoot people as soon as they hit the ground for trying to come and attack the Capitol, then don't do that to us either when we just come in to protest. If you're going to have a lot of restraint and find a way to try to work with people and just go get them after the fact and lock them up peacefully, then do that. Fine with that too. We can do this either way, dirty or clean. I don't really care. That's where I'm at. So if they had gunned down all them people, I'd have been like, man, that's messed up. They did them like they would have done us. That's how I would have viewed it. I'm just saying. Been a whole lot of sad singing. Because I'm not the one doing it. It's them doing it. So, yeah.
I don't want anybody to get hurt.
That's not what I said.
I would have just been very understanding of why.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying I want anyone to get hurt, because I'm not going to be the one generating the action. I'm simply saying be consistent. That's it. And I'm not surprised that you're not. So I view you as an enemy. And I conduct myself accordingly. So I would not get a bunch of people together and run at the Capitol, because I know that the treatment's going to be different. But I'm saying it shouldn't be. So I don't care if you pick the happy side or the sad side. Just pick one of those sides and treat us all as Americans. Just decide that there is no longer, I mean, you still need to do some restitution, but y'all, people who always say this, talking about we're all human and we're all Americans, fine. As soon as you stop differentiating between your Americans and between your humans, we can be all Americans and all humans. That's all I'm saying. So I'm surprised only had what I don't know what the lady's name was. She the only one that died. Should have been a lot more.
That actually still shocked me. One.
Why? That officer at that point only knew that someone was literally breaking through the barricade.
No. I'm literally saying only because it was
officials.
one. Because it was just one.
Oh, it's only just one because all the other officers were showing restraint. That brother was it was a brother, right? He was the one who was like, I got my orders.
Yeah, Ashley Babbitt.
Yeah, Babbitt. You know, but he's the one who he was following his orders. The other officers were the ones who were not following their orders or following their training, I guess you could say. And they were trying to be showing restraint. And I think restraint is good. But since you're not going to give it to everybody, don't give it to anybody.
Because Lindsey Graham is try not to use that word. He's a wimp. Lindsey Graham would be the one person that I would look at and just really hope that we're not on the same plane with each other, because
He'd freak out and crash the plane.
Ugh. No, I just will feel some type of way that I'm even in his presence.
That's because that's how you feel about Lindsey. But I'm like, Hawley is worse. Boebert is worse. Green is worse because Lindsey been there for a long time. He's old school corruption. He goes where the wind blows. But this new crop.
But this new crop pretty
pushing.
much does what the old crop is doing, and that's what irks me so much. Y'all the all shit talking this, no doing this individuals I have ever met in my life.
What do you mean by not doing?
Just pick or choose. If you're gonna be a Billy Badass, then be a Billy Badass all the way through the process. Don't be a little whip as soon as, oh my God, that's not popular.
But that's not how you win. Their job is to win, and they're winning. They're winning an uphill battle at that, because I actually do believe that the vast majority of America across the spectrum of ethnicities do not support this nonsense. However, they know the vast majority of that same group ain't gonna do nothing.
Yeah,
Mitch McConnell,
there's nothing touching Mitch now.
Yeah, I'm like, only thing that can stop Mitch now is his clock getting punched by the timekeeper above. That's the only thing. That's the only thing that's gonna stop him. Yeah, the new crop sees what's coming, and on a grand scale, and it's funny because on a wider view, what we're experiencing is like the death throes of white supremacy in this era. But how we choose to fight back against it right now will decide if that death row brings us into a new apartheid system, aka fascism, or if it's actually defeated for another 30, 40 years. That's the fight of today. What version of America do we want to have for the next 30 to 40 years?
Aaron, I agree with you completely.
Well, the Dems can't be afraid of their base because we ain't gonna go hurt nobody.
Well, but in a way I agree with you, and in a way I don't. When I say they're scared of their base. They're scared of their base as in, I'm gonna say these things to make sure you don't kill me. Democrats can be scared of their base all they want to. They still ain't doing shit.
Democrats aren't afraid of their base. Democrats are, how do I put it?
Well, what I'm saying is, even if they were, they're not scared of them now. They're not doing nothing. They could be scared of us.
That's not a fair statement either, I don't think. And we've made that point before. The Democrats are doing things. They're just not doing enough. That's not the same as not doing anything.
They're not doing enough.
And that's just me being fair, because I'm not a party guy. I know I say this a lot, but people don't seem to understand, because I keep ending up having to defend a party that I don't like. I'm not a Democrat because I support them. I'm a Democrat because the alternative is to be a Republican. Okay? So you can be independent. You can call yourself independent all you want to, because I vote black. So I am an independent in that respect. But I live in Georgia, where in order to participate in the primary ballot, you have to be registered either a Democrat or a Republican. And that's how it is in a lot of states. So because I do believe in playing primary politics, I got to choose a side. So I'm registered as a Democrat. I acknowledge the things that they do well, because they do some things. They just aren't doing everything. And we know why. That's the part that really trips me out about the left side of this argument. We actually know why the Democrats aren't passing anything. We can put a name to 2 of at least maybe 4 or 5 of the senators who are stopping everything. And yet, knowing who to blame, we blame somebody completely else because it's more convenient. And that is annoying to me. Sorry.
No, I was listening to you.
Because I was trying to keep it short, but I was just like, That every time we go on that particular point, it really irks me, because even though my family is okay right now, I've been unemployed and trying to take care of a house and driving Lyft and doing a substitute teacher just to keep some money moving so that we don't lose everything. I've been there. I've been in a house where the heat is going out, and because I own the house, ain't no help coming. Okay. and there's no way to fix your furnace. Your furnace is a $10,000 machine. Okay. Where you getting that money from if you ain't got nothing? So I can't sit here and play strategery, as W would say, with real people's lives and be like, is no real consequence to basically unilaterally disarming so the other party can just do what they're going to do because this side of the party ain't doing nothing anyway. Come on, man. For real. We see people starving, which is disproportionately our people. My goodness.
You can relax now because the first hour is over.
Give me something funny, man. You know, I'm almost at the point where give me the toddler. Almost. I ain't there though.
No. I don't care how bad we get. The first hour is over. We're going to take a small break, refresh and everything. I call it the Mickey break. We're going to take the Mickey break for about 2-3 minutes. And when we come back, we're going to talk about love language and the introduction of it. Do you know what your love language is compared to your mate's love language?
Yeah, fresh shower. That's mine. That's my love language.
One more thing.
Facts.
Yep. I know, Mick. I know. I just know that you ain't gonna be after the next thing. So anyway, we're gonna take a short break. We will be back in 3 and 3.
Living for weekends, wishing I could take a break from this world. Running on a hamster wheel, but searching for something I can't feel. I just wanna be a lost girl and fly. Take a breath, feel my wings spread, levitate above the ground and make eye contact with clouds. Now I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free. Finally, I wanna be free. I wanna be free. Finally, I wanna be free. Finally, I always daydreaming, never imagined I lose my spark. Living in this crazy time, putting back the pieces of my mind. I know how to run from the dark and fly. Feel my wings spread, levitate into the clouds. I'm so high above the ground. I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free. Finally, I wanna be free.
Sorry, I had to take care of a troll. That's just trolling. But we're back. And we're not going to waste any time. We're going to get into love language introduction. Love language introduction. Love language is that there are ways that certain people in your relationships like to be treated. And not everybody likes to be treated the same way. And Thea said it better yesterday, that we may make the mistake of treating people the way we want to be treated. And that may not be the correct way of looking at it. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at what love language is, and then we're going to turn around and we're going to look at what the 5 love languages are, and for you to identify, maybe you identify.
Of course, I miss you,
We
Tracy.
miss you,
I can't
Tracy.
speak for
We still
Marlon,
ain't,
but you
we're
know.
still not showing a little kid though. But yeah, we miss you.
Yeah,
So
you
what
could
we're
hop
gonna.
in, you know. It's cool.
By the way, I sent her an invitation. She ain't taking it, so I don't know why she talking like she don't have the invitation in her email. But anyway, so what we're gonna do first is we're gonna look at what love language is.
So I have a question.
Right.
So if you speak more than one language, you're bilingual.
There's a possibility, because if you take the test, they don't particularly say. That's why I like there is a love language test that you take, and it doesn't say you are this.
Right. But I'm just saying, there's being a linguist, there's being bilingual. So is there also being a cunnilinguist? Maybe that's your love language.
This started real early. At least last night it didn't stop for the last 30 minutes of the show.
I'm saying that's a legit question. Cunnilingus is still a language. It's a love language.
You're not on the show because you're screaming at your Niners won.
And I'm sure they heard your cheers.
Yep. Very proud of you. Anyway.
Glad they won, I think.
I don't care.
I want them all to lose. All of them.
Well, too bad. We're going into the playoffs now. Love language.
What's going on, guys? Today's video is going to be on the book The 5 Love Languages, The Secrets to Love That Last by Dr. Gary Chapman. So have you ever been in one of those relationships where you think you're doing everything you can to please your partner, but they're still feeling frustrated and unloved? I mean, you're giving them compliments, you work hard all day to bring home the bacon and pay the bills, you give them gifts, and you even do some chores around the house, but they're still feeling unloved. I mean, what more do they want, right? It's incredibly frustrating and annoying. Well, the reason why they aren't feeling loved, in short, is that you're not speaking their love language. The premise of the book is that people don't give and receive love in the same way. Most of us think that the way we want to be loved is how others want to be loved as well, but this is not the case. There are, in fact, 5 love languages. This is huge because if you're not speaking the same language as your partner, then you could be missing the mark completely and not even know it. It's basically the equivalent of a British guy trying to talk to a Chinese guy. It's not going to go well because they're simply not going to understand each other. If you're going to have a strong relationship, you have to know how you and your partner both give and receive love. The 5 love languages are words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. Let's go.
Sorry, still dealing with trolls.
I was just gonna look at it and be like, "Yo, for real though, one, it was written by a dude. All right, I'm already a little suspect on his grasp of these languages, and then the second thing here is, you know what? It's a two-way street. So if your partner, whether man, woman, or however they identify, is not speaking your language, maybe you should tell them that. instead of sitting back and acting like, hey, you need to
But
impress me. Because if
here
that's
is
your tack, get out. I don't
but
want you no way. That's how I roll. That's
but
my
here is
that's
the
my
issue
love
though.
language.
What if you don't know what it is?
Then something wrong with you because you're grown. So you may not know which of these little words that this doctor, whoever it is, said the words were, but you know what makes you feel special. You know what makes you feel appreciated. And if you don't know, you really have no business dating. None.
See,
None.
I have
Be alone.
I'm going to disagree on a small portion of it because I've dealt with this in the past. I'm going to look at it from a human point of view and say it's a bunch of BS when you say you know what makes you happy.
You do know what makes you feel special.
Sometimes you don't.
Are we
Sometimes
talking
you
about
can
a
literally
15?
you could tell
Are we talking
somebody
about a
what you
30-year-old?
want. You could tell somebody what you want. They can literally do that and they still not happy. And you still don't know why.
That's different. That's just different, bro. Look, first of all, like I said, are we talking about a 15-year-old or are we talking about a 30-year-old? See, a 15-year-old don't know themselves enough to know anything anyway. Right? But you know if spending quality time with the other person is what makes you feel validated. You know if receiving, oh no, not receiving. You know if giving gifts is your way of showing someone that you care about them. You know these things. And if you don't know, like I said, and I know this sounds kind of harsh, but for real, I'm thinking in the frame of grown folks who have decided that not only do they want to complicate their life, but they want to complicate someone else's life enough to do a relationship with them. See, relationships got expectations and demands and all of this stuff. If you are so immature that you can't even help the other person figure it out, why are you in a relationship? Because you're going to be miserable.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like, look, for
I
real,
just
you're
I
not
just
going to
have
get all the answers up front. You're not going to be able to, have a checklist or whatnot. But as you're going along, you should be observing the other person. And you should, the same level of transparency that you want, whatever your level of transparency is that you want, you should be showing the other direction. Because I've been in situations where it's like, you can tell the other person just ain't trying. You know what I'm saying? And I'm that grimy cat. I'm that one that's like, I'm gonna try my butt off until I realize you're not trying. And the moment I realize you're not trying, I'm not giving you what you want either. This relationship can go. Because obviously I'm not gonna be the only one feeding you while I'm sitting here starving. Nah, that's not gonna be. That ain't gonna look.
I guess here's my deal why I wanted to do this series is because I don't want people in a relationship to feel just because you're happy, it's a happy relationship.
Yeah, because the other person might not be happy.
Because the other person may be miserable as crap.
Yep.
So when you think you happy, you get exactly what it is that you want. So that means there's nothing wrong with the relationship. It's
one-sided.
It's one-sided. It's asinine to even be thinking that way. It's also arrogant. Let me just throw that out. It's actually very arrogant for you to think that, hey, I'm happy, so this is a happy relationship. So what's the big deal?
But we have those weird little dumb sayings, if mama's not happy, the house ain't happy and stuff like that. You don't have really sayings that say if dad ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. That's why you got to look at things, man. It's like your relationship is based on your relationship. Won't look like mine, won't look like Marlon's, won't look like nobody else's. It's yours. And I think that it's important that we always ask ourselves. In my case, I'm the guy. So I should be asking myself, is she happy? Now, if I'm asking myself, is she happy? But she's not asking herself if I'm happy, eventually there's going to be a breaking point.
There's going to be an issue. So let's get to the first one. Words of affirmation. By the way, I'm not going to tell you which one I am. I'll be happy to, at the end of the series, I'll be happy to say which one I am. But it's words of, the first one is words of affirmation. And I was going to let this dude do it because that was the first one that came across. But his way of saying it was kind of like, pretty much just like flat line, here it is, black and white, stuff like that. He really didn't get into detail. So I found this dude on YouTube who actually went into greater detail about what that actually means. Word of affirmation, what it really, truly means. Because word of affirmation at its core is giving kudos, giving congratulations, giving thanks, giving, doing a well job and blah, blah, blah. But when I heard the first guy was talking about it, I was like, that got to be a little more than this. Hey, you're doing a good job. Congratulations. That sounds like crap you would do at a job. Hey, doing a good job.
But some people respond to that. They just need to know that you see them. They see me.
They see me now. Us. By the way, I look back at the video. They see us now.
Yeah.
They see us now.
Yeah, they see you out there in the plum fool.
Yep.
But never mind.
So this guy's going to go into greater detail of words of affirmation. Yeah, if I can find them. There you go.
Now the second one that's really important is words of affirmation. And that's someone who desires to be loved simply by words. As in something simple as I love you, I'm proud of you, you're doing excellent, you're doing amazing, you're great, you're special. Those are just words of affirmation, validating words. And there are some people who show and receive love by those words. I am somebody who would definitely say, that's my primary. Another one of my primaries, I love to hear things like I love you, I'm here for you. Things like that. Those are amazing. Someone who is a words of affirmation person, it's interesting. Like for example, the difference between acts of service and words. Acts of service would be, I'm just gonna carry the groceries in instead of saying, wow, look at you carry those groceries in. You're so great at that. It's like, okay, I need you to help me. But words of affirmation is more validating the work that I'm doing, validating me, just simply by your words. And again, I gave you an example for that. And this is really important. And something that's really important is you can get so tied up in what people say about you that it can control the way you live, control the way you think, control how you see things, control your perspectives, control your mindsets. It can control your behavior, the way you dress. Literally, people's words can cripple you. Whoever said sticks and stones may break my bones, but words may never hurt, that is a lie. Words can hurt you. Words are so crippling. I mean, the Bible says life and death is in the power of the tongue. Those are our words, what we speak, what we say. This is crazy. Someone can literally say to you, yo, them shoes, they trash. You could like, I don't care what you're talking about. You could go home and you just look at them like, maybe you are a little, like it's weird. Words literally can cripple your mind if you are a words of affirmation person, as in you show and receive love by words. And you're going to have a love tank. You're going to say, okay, was I loved enough today? As in, did I hear enough validating words over me? And that sounds crazy, and I think sometimes people look at the word validation in such a negative connotation because there are people, in a sense, will do whatever it takes to get validation. But we're talking about from a secure place. If, again, you show and receive love this way, it is validating. There's nothing wrong with receiving validation. Everybody needs a healthy amount of validation.
So my take on it is this. Words of words of validation goes beyond just saying thank you after an action. Because saying thank you after that is it comes off to me as just being polite, having manners. It's not, I hate to say it, it's not them seeing you.
Yeah, I think words of affirmation is more of words that help build up the other person, being their personal like cheering section as a manner of speaking. It's not you did this, great job. It's you're great. When you do this, I notice and I really appreciate how you contribute and do this thing and add to that. Like that's words of affirmation to me, right? It's tailored, it's personal, and
Great way of saying
not
it.
transactional.
It's tailored to that individual compared to generic. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate
Still say
it.
thank you though, because I carry all them
No, you
groceries
still
in. Least you
you
could do
should
is say
still
thank
say.
you.
I'll tell you what. I'll even go further on how to fix the thank you. Is to say thank you for. Instead of just saying thank you. Because we still live in a mentality in and I can only speak from man and woman because I'm a man and I'm married to a woman. But I really generally think this would go across the board. We're still tailored to a man does a certain thing, a woman does a certain thing. A man is supposed to compared to a woman is supposed to. So we're getting to the point, not getting to the point, we have gotten to the point of not affirming what they do because we're starting to look at it as you're supposed to do that. You're supposed to. So why am I thanking you? If your woman cooks Sunday dinner, you're going to say thank you. And then you're going to move on about your business. You're not going to look at any effect whatsoever what she had to do to go through cooking dinner every Sunday on the clock, going to get the grocery, cooking it, and everything else and stuff like that. Because I've always had this thing that if you could put forth an effort, you can water down absolutely anything. And I do mean absolutely anything. You can water down sports, you can water down religion, you can water down relationships, you can water down your job, you can water down everything if you put forth an effort. This case right here, you can water it down by simply saying, well, you had to eat too.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. Like, I think there's a difference between acknowledgement and affirmation, though. So,
that's a big difference.
Thank you for cooking dinner. You should do that. It's called being appreciative. You know what I'm saying? But affirmation is she makes dinner every Sunday, right? What words of affirmation may be on Wednesday, saying, I really love the way you make X, or I love the fact that even though we both have to get ready for work the next week, you always take that extra step and do that for us. And you don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like taking it past acknowledgement and actually saying there's something about this that you make special, right? Yeah, that's cool. But I think where a lot of times people get twisted though, and this is where this whole love language thing comes in. I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of it. I think it helps start the discussion though. But don't throw out your man or your woman because they don't understand words of affirmation. if that's your thing, and like as he said, it's my primary. If that's your primary, then you might want to let the other side know that. Okay. Instead of just sitting on it and being mad because the person you mad ain't giving you affirmation, He does the other stuff. He makes sure that your oil's changing and
let me say this real quick, because I emphasize exactly what Theus is saying. All of these is totally useless if your partner doesn't know what it is. All of them. So let me just put it on film right here, right now. Don't figure out, oh, that's what I am. Now I'm pissed off at my mate because they don't do X, Y, and Z. Did they know? They should know.
Yeah. I told my wife early when we were dating.
The hell they shouldn't know.
I told my wife early when we were dating. I think I've told this just about any girl I've ever dated. I'm going to try. I'm going to try real hard because I view being in a relationship as I need to give you every reason to stay. I'll never be able to give you enough reasons not to go. Because if you want to leave, leave. My job is to give you every reason to stay. But if I don't figure it out quickly, I'm not going to. So if I ain't figure it out on Monday, please don't expect me to somehow magically figure it out on Thursday.
My deal is always this. If you still see me, no, I can actually end it right there. If you still see me, I'm still in the fight.
No, not necessarily.
I there's always been a certain level to me. And honestly, it happened twice. So it ain't like a written in stone rule of mine. It only happened twice in my life. If I don't want to deal with you, I literally don't want to see you.
Mm-hmm.
That's my deal. It has nothing to do with the whole can we still be friends and hang out and stuff. No, I don't want to deal with you. And this is at an early age, but now that I'm almost 50, I can also add on because I'm a grown ass man. I don't have to.
But you're talking about it from like the dating standpoint, where if I don't want to deal with you, I literally don't have to deal with you. No harm, no foul. Goodbye. Where it gets complicated is for people who are in structured relationships.
I would
children.
say this about structured marriage. If you're gonna go, and I say this about pretty much everything, my whole mentality about life. If you're gonna go down swinging. That has always been my thought on just about everything. I tell my daughter every time when I don't know how I'm gonna pay these bills and blah blah blah. Did you call these people? Did you talk to these people? I don't want to do. Well, I've always told you, if you're gonna go down, you're gonna go down swinging. You can't sit there and go, I ain't finna do nothing about my situation because I think such and such is gonna happen. If you feel like something bad is gonna happen to you, and then you don't do anything about it other than complain about it, you didn't fight for trying to stop it. You just complained until it happens.
I agree and disagree. I agree from the standpoint of like how you just laid it out, right? I do think that before you can say something doesn't work, did you try to fix it? Did you try to follow the instructions, or did you just decide that the instructions don't make sense? Is that what we're really doing, right? Is it that you can't do it, or you've not committed to doing it?
Well, can't or won't.
Yeah, but then, like I said, you can add some stuff to it. You can add stuff to it, and it complicates a lot of things. Because if she decides that the relationship isn't right, there's more to it than her just deciding that I have to go ahead and end this relationship when there's children, family, a lot of other things tied in, health, right? So it gets real complicated. And then it's like you can't easily extricate yourself because you trying to find your peace inserts chaos into the people you have sworn to protect. So that's why it's a little messy. It's a little murky.
It will. I don't want anybody to think that it's not going to get chaotic, but I don't want anybody to think that it's getting chaotic, so I'd rather just end it. If you're going to fight for it, then go ahead and fight for it. I'm not even remotely telling you it's going to be easy. It's not. And
May
yeah,
not
you're
even be
going to have,
worth it.
yeah, you're going to have points at times where you're literally going to sit there and say, "Is this worth it?"
Yeah. Best advice I got from this really old couple, really, really, really old couple. It was right after my divorce, or not long after my divorce, and they had come into my office, and the wife had to leave to go to the restroom. So I'm deep in my cynical phase, right? And I look at this man, and I literally just said, "How?" Like, I think that was even my face. Like, how? And somehow he understood what I was saying, and he said, if you want to know the secret to a long marriage, is that you both don't give up on the same day. And then he went further to say, there's going to be times that you don't want to deal with it anymore. And there's going to be times that she doesn't either. You have a chance so long as on the same day, you don't both agree. I don't know. Made sense to me.
I can't even say nothing about it. That actually
Ain't
just
nothing like making a threat to
completely and utterly
somebody and then they
makes
just being
sense.
like, okay, I'm going to
No,
leave.
that
I'm so
actually
sick of
makes
this. Okay.
yeah, yeah. If you both agree on the same day that this is, oh, and I'm talking to someone at the job who recently, did they get a divorce or they getting a divorce? And something that she said struck me. And it really struck me to the core. And that is, we couldn't stay in the house. Excuse me. We couldn't stay in the house together because I hated seeing him.
Yeah, it's over at that point.
And I went, "You hate it? Are you sure you're using the right words?" He's like, "Yeah, I hated seeing." I was like, "Wow." Like, woo.
Love and hate, same emotion.
Pretty much. Same
Difference in
adrenaline.
intensity.
So anyway, that was the first one. Words of affirmation. I would say, let me know in the comment if that's you or not. You can, you can't. Don't matter. If you know that's you, or you know that is your partner, I suggest that you act accordingly. Either A, tell that other person, or B, treat that person like that. Don't just take everything as a, and I said it once, I'll say it again. Don't take everything as you supposed to do that. That's just the way it is. I'm not that. Oh, by the way, let me add this too. Because this just burns me up when I hear people say this. When you know that person is that type of person, and words of affirmation was the first one, we got 4 more to go through. If you know that person is that type of person, and when I say act accordingly, please do not come back to me and go, "You know, I ain't that type of person though. That ain't what I do." And they've been with me long enough to know that they ain't something that I do. So you determine not to be damn happy. And you determine that the other person is going to be unhappy too. For you. You selfish bastard. Because only one person is coming out of this. Well, only one person gonna feel like they're coming out of this happy, and that's you. Because you rather put your personality on the line and try any type of change.
Yeah, people are lazy. But I'm gonna throw a curveball at you though a little bit, because I explained this to somebody once before. You know, things don't happen in a vacuum. So oftentimes we can get seduced into only looking at things through our own view, right? And so at the time that, let's say that me and Marlon are in a relationship. So through whatever period of time, Marlon is working his butt off trying to keep our side, make me happy. Okay. But I'm not receiving it. Like either I'm distracted, I'm selfish, whatever the situation is, I'm not receiving it. Right. And then on my side, I'm thinking, well, whatever. That's just how he is. Yeah, whatever. It's so annoying. Blah, 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 blah. Well, real life is happening on both sides, right? By the time that I decide that I'm going to try too, I have to understand and be aware that that whole time was real for Marlon. So at the time that I decide I now want to start trying might be the time that Marlon's burnt out and I won't try no more. See, our roles just reversed. But being selfish, we'll only look at it as, well, you don't even appreciate me. And that's where I think a lot of issues come in. We like to think it's like some straight line situation, and it's not. You're the good guy today, you might be the bad guy tomorrow. And one caused the other or impacted the other or whatever. But at the end of the day, are you going to give the other person room to catch up? I can't always say that I am. But
my deal is this. And I'll harp back on what I said before.
That's cute, Anna. Especially if one of them snores.
Whew, Lord have mercy. Bless your heart on that point.
A lot of people.
My deal is this, and I'm going to harp on it, and then we'll move on. Is this. I don't want you to think because you're happy, it's a happy marriage. I can't emphasize that. I can't emphasize that enough. When I'm doing this series, I want everybody to understand that it is a two-way street, not you and not them. And I mean that wholeheartedly. I do, as much as I want to sit there and say, you need to tell your partner, this is what I want for me to be happy. And now you're happy, but your partner is miserable. It's the same way of saying, okay, I know what it is that you want, and I am going to do that, and then turn around and go, but I'm miserable as fuck. It is a two-way street. Both of you have to give and take.
If you're only receiving, but you're not putting that same level of giving out there,
and
you are creating resentment.
Yeah, vice versa. Because you, like I said, you're sitting there being happy in this relationship, and your partner's on the other side looking at you like, I'm slowly but surely beginning to really hate you. And it could be literally the other side. It like I said, that's why I say it's a two-way street. It's so important that I put that out there. I also don't want the fact that your partner is gleeful and talking about your marriage and everything is okay, and they're so happy and gleeful, and you're staring at them going, I'm really beginning to hate you. So it's my last thought on it. Just keep it in mind. Just keep it in mind. Oh, good Lord. Wow. Absolutely.
Nope, I agree.
You have no business being in any type of relation, and I don't. You have no business being in a relationship where you're happy that they're miserable. Why the hell are you with them?
Well, I already told you that whole thing about you ain't got no business being in a relationship if you can't even help the other person catch up.
No.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, there's going to be some things that that another person can do that this person can do. Word affirmation actually is very apropos. So when I say that, I mean you have to look at it, and let's go back to the cooking. You can look at it as your significant other cooks Sunday dinner every Sunday. You need to be appreciative of that person does cook Sunday dinner every Sunday. You also have to keep a look at yourself and go, well, the only reason that them cook dinner every Sunday is because I don't know how to. I'm not saying it's wrong. And I'm using this as an example. I could have used the car thing, but that was too on the nose. But I'm literally just using that as an example. I don't cook, so I need you to cook. That's fine. That's cool because that person has a skill that you don't have. But need not forget that person that you have a skill that they don't have. They have a skill that you don't have. Let's not forget. That's not treat it like, well, that's just the way it is.
No, I agree.
That's just the way it is. So, thank you.
I think people who are in a whatever you define to be a healthy relationship, they come to that level of understanding at some point. You know, where there's resentment that can start to grow is it's not that you can't do various things, you simply don't do them. So that leaves the other person who, like, okay, you both can cook, but one of you cooks better, right? So that person pretty much is the de facto cook. But so now you don't cook, you don't do the dishes, you don't sweep and mop the floor, you don't clean bathrooms, you don't clean the living room. You just kind of just sit around, right? That's what you do.
Well, let me have a pushback.
That will piss the other person off eventually. I'm just saying.
And let me have just one small pushback on that. And that is can't, and we already say this, can't or won't.
What do you mean?
You can sweep the damn floor.
No, I agree. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
So like it may not be something you want to do, but it doesn't matter because if you don't do it, you're leaving it for the other person to do. And who says that they want to do it? You know what I'm saying? So the tasks and the chores are not going to even out. That's not reality unless you're going to sit down and write out a chore list with two people who are supposed to be in a relationship. Good luck with that. If that's how y'all function, rock on.
If you're two grown ass, I promise you, if I go to two grown ass people, and I'm not talking about kids, so we ain't even finna play that somatic crap. If I go to two grown ass people's houses and I see a chore list on the refrigerator, I'll pull both of them aside and go, "The fuck are y'all doing?"
But it might be like that. I mean, let's say both of them are project managers.
Oh my God.
I'm serious, Marlon, for real. Everybody's relationship looks different. What I'm saying is, I don't see that being very successful in the vast majority of relationships.
Oh, gee, why? Why? Because you put a chore list on your refrigerator. You don't know what you don't know what you're supposed to do.
But like I said,
but then that
wouldn't work for you, apparently. Really wouldn't work for me. But there are personality types where they write out Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, I do the cooking. And so that way we don't ever get off track on when someone cooks and when someone does dishes and whatever. My biggest point is find what works for you and that person you're with and commit to always finding a way to make that thing work. And understanding that what worked in 2005 may need to be retooled in 2020. So
yeah.
Well, when we got together, I didn't cook. Okay, that is a true statement. But did you stop growing back then? Was that your peak? That was. That's it. Take me as I am. Oh no, I'm having a problem with the fact that you still what you were. So this is just the way I am. Whether you're a guy or a girl, I've heard both people say this is the way I am. Well,
you could piss me off a lot quicker by saying I'm not going to do any of the stuff that this thing does because they knew how I was before you married me.
Well, now
I can literally
reevaluating.
call you a fool for sitting there marrying somebody that you know wasn't going to do jack squat anyway. I could do that. Or I could have it in my heart to think, gee, maybe they could change. Now, trust me, that's a entirely different subject because we can get on the whole you knew there was crap before you even married, and why did you think something was going to change thing? But that's a entirely different
Everything should grow. Everything. Your understanding must grow. Your needs will grow. Everything has to grow. And if you can't afford the other person the flexibility to grow, then you can't really last very long because now you're both connected to a person that may not exist in a couple of years.
Well, I'm agreeing with you, but I see it on a different level. I mean, I see it a different way. I don't see your marriage growing, especially on acceptance. If you accept it that they're not going to change anything they're doing, and that you're not going to change anything that you're doing, you could be married for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Whatever. Knock yourself out. Feel free
with it. Grow, and are you happy?
But you go live a 20, 30, 40, 50 miserable years.
Exactly. Just because you have the ability to stick it out. Which is what I was pointing at a little while ago about the things that complicate things. Sometimes people are together because they're so deeply in love with the other things that they help them deal with you. They love their children so much that outweighs how much they don't like you. And some people will realize that and be like, yo, that's cool. As long as she's still here, that's sick.
Well, and I'm going to end it with this, and I'll let everybody else decide. Are they with you because they love you? Are they with you because they're dealing with you? Y'all make that decision on you. These women
are still really going to try to get through all the languages because I'm sorry.
Absolutely not. That's
I can stop talking. We'll do that.
1 week. You say what?
I said because I can just stop talking and that way you can just like move through them because I'm like we ain't even get past affirmation.
No. Affirmation. No. So, in a nutshell, words of affirmation. If that's you or if that's your partner, just keep in mind that. Please and thank you, and I appreciate it. Has to go a little further. In my opinion, how I took it was that you need to. When you was in school and they told you to write, they would give you a sentence, and they told you to break that sentence down deeper than what that sentence was. You know, example of the cat walked across the tree. I mean, the cat walked across the street. And they would say, well, break it down a little more. I had a crazy freaking school who actually thought I was in damn college. Everybody didn't have that. I had that. They would say, break this sentence down further, make it into a paragraph. And you're looking at them like, it's just a sentence. Yeah, but you could do more. So it's with the cat walked across the tree. What the hell am I saying damn tree? The cat walked across the street. Your job is to say the cat at night when it was 50 something degrees was walking across such and such street. There were cars coming, but the cat found a way to maneuver through the cars and was safely got across the street and ran into the house. That's how you build from a
in
city.
sales. In sales, that's getting to the why.
Yeah,
everything is followed with a why. But
so
why?
when I say thank you for what? Thank you for doing this, and this. And oh, by the way, I remembered all the things that you did for me last week. And those were wonderful things. And I truly appreciate all the things that you did. As a matter of fact, not only do I appreciate the things you did, I appreciate you. Because
that can get exhausting too, though.
Just suck it up. Hell,
I'm just saying it can, bro. Look,
it's
just think
just
about
word. Suck it up. Suck it up.
Nah, it can get exhausting, bro.
Well,
that's why you need to take your time with whomever you're getting involved with, so that by the time you get to marriage, there's time under your belt to find out if these languages are compatible. Okay. Like I guess I view it a little different, right? I look at it like
what you're saying.
Whatever your languages are, you need to find somebody whose languages are compatible. Right? If you're a gift giver and the other person is an affirmation person, that can be quite compatible. But if you are a communicator and the other person is a physical touch, you might have a bit of problem eventually.
Why?
Because the communicator may not view physical touch as an intimate thing. It could actually almost be kind of intrusive, except for in those moments when they want to have that interaction. Physical interaction may not be a thing for them. So if you're a physical touch person who's always touchy-feely, always on, and they're more of a mental person who's like, no, I need to express and hear it being expressed. I need ideas. That can create a lot of issues, dog. Because
but let me say this though. Touchy, and you put it as
like, let's say you have a really high sex drive, but you are more of a listener. You're not a communicator. The other person has a really low sex drive, but they are a high communicator. Low communicator and high communicator can oftentimes annoy each other. Right? Because the high communicator is overwhelming the low, and the low is not satisfying the high. And then the sex drives are off, right? On a different scale. So now it almost feels like you're being pressured into having sex when you don't want to, in order to keep the other person who has a higher drive engaged. So now it becomes more of a task or a chore than an engagement, right? It's like, now there's levels and degrees to all of this.
And that's why I was going to. We're going to have to understand that there's going to be. This is not This is not the black tape to fix everything. Some of these things we're going to have to come to the conclusion that it just ain't going to work.
Yeah, but see, that's where I think
but
dating has become outdated. People don't do it right.
But having said that, you need to know. So if you get into a situation with somebody else, if you decide to get into a situation with everybody else, you'll now know. See, what I don't want to happen is this. I don't want somebody to be miserable in a relationship and don't know why they're miserable in the relationship. And they can't pinpoint why they're miserable in a relationship.
Go see a therapist.
You're not even miserable in a relationship, you're just miserable.
Go see a therapist. That's not a bad thing. Figure out, is the other person your obstruction, or are you your obstruction?
I'm going to start here this with the conversation, because the women mafia is just sitting there for the last 15, 20 minutes talking about cleaning the house. So I'm going to move on to comments. Sure, there's a shock.
But Tracy likes to communicate, though.
She does like to communicate. And Anna, I would say this though, but you will be the person who like to cuddle compared to there's somebody out there that's just like, get off of me, I'm asleep.
Or just get off of me.
It's hot.
You're heavy. It's hot.
It's hot and everything.
You know what I'm saying?
So I get what you're saying, but there is a level of, come on, it's hot out there compared to somebody that really truly just like, I can't go to bed unless surprisingly enough, there are people who really honestly can't who can't physically actually not go to bed without touching somebody, without somebody being in that bed.
I love you, or they need an I love you, or they need a kiss, or they need to physically feel the pressure of another person close to them. Yeah.
But at the exact same time, there are people who purposely get king size beds.
To keep them away.
You could be on your side and I could be on my side. And that's what I'm doing this series for, is you have to figure out which.
Yeah. My point, though, which is I don't think is where you're coming from, is I just think that the time to figure that out is before you get married.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes you need to retool it and figure out, because people change and things like that. But I'm like, did you take the time to actually get to know the other person? What was the dating experience like? What was the engagement time like? You know? Or did you just decide, we're going to skip all that because I really like you? And then you're trying to figure it out on the fly when you get married. And now there's a lot of pressure that comes with being married. And you're adding this to it. So I don't know. I mean, there's no perfect formula, but I don't know.
Nope, it's not.
Sucks to find out after you married somebody that they don't like to be touched. That would suck.
I literally have to say this. How did you not know that before you got married, though?
Because sometimes people will put up with things thinking that the overall package is worth it. Right? So you might be with a woman who doesn't like to be touched like that. You know what I'm saying? But everything else about you makes her happy. So she sucks it up for that. So she can have all the other stuff. But it's still not balanced out. And now you're married. Well, before you were trying to put up with it for a year or two. Now, in theory, you're supposed to be putting up with this for how long? Another 20 years? It's tough. It'll be tough. And I know I pointed out the ladies, but that's just because of generalizations.
All right. I had to take care of something real quick. I heard everything that you were saying. I just had to take care of something real quick.
Be right back.
Okay.
I'm back.
I literally thought you was go.
Nah, my heater was too hot, man. I turned it off.
I sitting there and looked at you like, is he sweating? And why is all of a sudden that he's sweating like that?
I'm not sweating.
You did this for a while back.
I'll put some lotion on.
You trying to make yourself pretty now?
Oh, ain't no fixing that, man. I can't overcome genetics. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't been on a first date in over 20 years. So I don't quite know. I just know my personal personality style. First date, I don't even know a whole lot about you, man. If we ain't doing the checklist, that ain't happening with me. You know?
Tracy, I don't even know what to tell you anymore, honey. You
Tracy, I don't
Tracy
know.
need a pet.
No, because then the pet would be all over. She don't want to be bothered with that.
A bird.
Okay, maybe a bird. I don't know. Exactly, Anna. But it's hard not to do that because when we first start dating, it's my representative trying to impress your representative. That's why I feel like dating is so important over time because eventually the representatives start to fade and you can still decide if this thing is worth pursuing. But if you fall in love with the representative, good luck. I agree with you, Mickey.
Yeah.
Except I view first dates differently, but I agree with you.
I agree.
Because
agree.
to me, a first date is just the first time that we went out and did something together. Like, it don't mean nothing to me. Like, legit. It's like, can I stand being in your company? Do we have some chemistry? That's all a first date is in my brain. I'm not even remotely considering what we're gonna be 6 months from now. I ain't even considering that. It's like legit, like, yo, do I like being around you? And then second, third, fourth date is when we start looking more towards, all right, yo, I like the way she laughs. I like the way her sense of humor works. You know what I'm saying? You start getting more personal details of different things that you like. But first date is literally like, I'm gonna buy you some food, and hopefully while you're eating, we'll laugh a few times. And if it's awkward the whole time, then I know we ain't gonna do this again.
Would you even want to? All right. So it is that time because it is getting late.
But Marlon's saying just marry whoever you see and y'all figure it out. Get a book and read it out. Read it.
Absolutely not.
Dog ear it. Highlighter.
Absolutely not. I don't see
way
too
many.
many.
You ain't said nothing like that.
I don't see way too many of those. I don't see way too many. I'm going to change them. I don't see way too many times of, oh, he's so cute. Oh, she's so pretty. I don't see way too many of those marriages. It's just no. No. And I don't even care anymore. So it is time for Foxy's videos of the week. Next time we go over another love language. This is going to be a series. Yeah, it's going to be a series. It's 5 of them. Make you come back here.
Next time, I won't be on the love language and Tracy will. And then I can hang out in the comments. Or not.
Because I literally going to say I would do it by myself because all Tracy is going to do is, that's just not me. That's just not me.
You can't speak for her. There's one or two of those that definitely would fit her.
I think
if she chooses to speak on that level, because like personally, we didn't even talk from what it is that is our preferred whatever.
Well, that's what the series is for. You don't know what it is. It's 4 more of them. Pretty sure somebody already said, no, that's not me. That's words of it is not me.
Yeah, it ain't high on my list. And I think it needs to be there. I mean, dang, but yep.
Yeah. So this video, I specifically thought about Mickey. Honestly, the minute I saw the video, Mickey was the only person that I thought of. I'm not going to take us down because it's just the two of us, so I don't have to do all that. But the first person that popped in my head was Mickey.
Wait a second. What are those things? You're unleashing them? Get me out! Holy shit! They're swarming me! Get me! Demons! Oh, get me out of! Whoa! I barely escaped with my life that day. Sorry, I just apparently they're called puppies. You know, I like to call them fluffy little demons. Yeah. So, anyways, that's why I hate puppies.
That had to have been just the most horrendous experience.
It was. Why would you do that to the cat, though? Is what kills me. Like, why did you think that was funny?
Well, who knew that the puppies were going to just like gang hug the cat?
They knew. Why would you? What else? What other reason would you do it?
Yeah, you're right.
Yep, LLL looks like heaven to me. Yeah, I knew you would like it.
Poor cat.
Bunch of puppies attacking that poor little cat. Cat ain't do nothing to none of y'all. You gonna sit
On
there
that day, because you know cats, they sneaky, so that might have been some get back. Is that the one that's the one that scratched you, Charles? Got him. We gonna get him.
No,
Let's
you
get him,
probably,
Charles.
you know what? That makes absolutely sense. That probably was be the puppies that was in the cage, and the cat just be jumping up on the cage and hitting the cage and everything, making noise, and that's why the owner decided, okay, I'm gonna let them out, Billy Badass. Let's see what happens.
It could go so many ways.
Yeah. Okay.
As they say, what happened before the tape started, whatever.
Well, that wasn't that cat. This next video is for Tracy, because Tracy is my sister and I like to gross her out.
So in a lapse of judgment, I visited the Devil's Taint today, aka Twitter, and I saw that Chrissy was trending. And at first I thought maybe Chrissy Teigen, because you know they like to stay on her ass. But it wasn't Chrissy Teigen, y'all. You know who it was? Chrissy, Jim Jones's baby mama, right? And the reason I'm sorry. The reason she was trending was not because of anything she said or did. She was trending because people were like, that's why Jim Jones' mama didn't like Chrissy. What was the reason? You may be asking, what was the reason? Jim Jones admitted to the world out his mouth on the internet that his biological mother, taught him how to tongue kiss via demonstration. Like, that's why I don't be over there. File that under things I never needed to know. Can y'all please? We only 6 days in, people.
Yeah, I saw that like pop up. I don't do entertainment news, so I didn't read it. Plus, I don't like Jim Jones. I think his music sucks. But yeah, that's just you.
Yeah. Okay, there's two levels to this. The first level is ew. Get that out of the way. The second level is, why would that even come up?
Why think about who you're talking about.
Why would you tell absolutely anybody about that? I can't even sit there and say, well, your I hope to say, let me rephrase that. I hope to say, not even to speak to your base. Dude, that's gross. That's just really, really bad.
But that's one reason I don't like entertainment culture. I don't like it. I don't like how much people absorb and just are so interested in what entertainers do and say and all of those things, because what does that matter to your life? Like, what is wrong with you? And I know this is everybody got their own angles, so I'm being very narrow-minded here. But Jim Jones, I mean, what about him makes you expect the best of anything out of him? What has he ever portrayed in the public eye that would make you think of anything positive about him or the world that he chooses to move in? And then when T.I. does or says something disgusting or stupid, and then people are like, "Oh my gosh, did you hear?" No, I didn't hear, because I learned a long time ago that even if I like his music tells me that I don't really want to deal with him on a personal level.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey.
That's what I was about to go with T.I. After I don't want to hear no more about what T.I. does ever again.
Yeah, you can like his music, but just think about the fact that the music was grimy. And that's what you liked about it, was that the music was grimy. And so now you surprised that his life imitates his art on some level? That's silly.
I don't care. My sister-in-law does a show where the last thing they talked about was T.I. and Tiny and the situation with the best friend and everything else. And I literally just had to come out and just say, how you still got friends? I'm so dumbfounded by how you even have people still hanging with you.
I don't know anything about all of that.
I'm not going to tell the story. I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm just looking at it as,
if you got millions or hundreds of thousands of people who are watching you and obsessed with what you do every day, of course you got friends. You think all your friends are legitimate? All right, so of course you got friends. And and no matter how messed up or good or well-rounded you are, there's a whole collection of people just like you.
it's totally disgusting.
Yeah, but there's a group of people out there like who heard the Jim Jones thing and was like, man, that happened to me too.
You're not missing much, Nick.
Yeah, I kind of tapped out around 2005-ish.
Yeah.
Maybe 2010.
I literally watch my sister-in-law's videos just to catch up on what's going on. And even at a certain time, I just go, I don't care.
But it makes money. There's a lot of people who are very successful with entertainment news, entertainment discussion. It's just another lane. It's kind of like how we do political and social. But I don't get it. I don't get it.
I don't care enough about anybody else's life when the only reason that you're even discussing their life is because it's trash. I can't.
Well, I would agree with that. Yeah.
I don't
like
have
you just wanting to see. You're literally watching to see how they self-destruct. And to me, that's really that's a dark way to be.
All these housewives of everything else is the same thing. I don't get the point. You know it's scripted. I hate the fact that you even use the word reality TV when it ain't reality. They're acting as ignorant, and at the very least, I never could actually call reality TV racist. At the very least, I can honestly say that because I've seen it from both ends, where all of the races look like glittering morons running around acting absolutely stupid.
We grew up on Jerry Springer and all of that stuff, and this is just the next level of evolution.
I agree. I remember Ozzy Osbourne show. I was still stuck at that time. How'd that work out for you, Mickey?
Another person where I think really good music, incredibly talented individual, really twisted and dark person.
Pretty much. So this is our last video. This is for nobody. I just thought it was funny as crap because I can't find a lie in it. But this is the last video of the night.
Tell me you're from Kentucky without telling me you're from Kentucky.
Here goes.
My dad had me with my mom and then married my mom's sister, my aunt, which made my aunt my stepmother, and made her sister my aunt, who is still my mother, and also made my dad my uncle because he was married to my mom's sister, my aunt, which made them my first cousin step half-brothers. Now, if I'm my mom's son, who's also my aunt, that makes me my mom's nephew and son. So in conclusion, I have two first cousin step half-brothers by uncle, dad, and aunt stepmom, and if I'm my dad's mom's and aunt's son and my dad's mom's and aunt's nephew's half-brother to my first cousin / step half-brother, I think I'm my own double first cousin.
America. That's Alabama, South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Georgia, Louisiana, Arkansas. It's like
there's nobody else out there. I'll be realistic when I ask that question. When
they're trying to keep their bloodline pure.
The bloodline is not pure. As soon as you do that, you have tainted the blood.
But aren't you supposed to, date who you know? I mean, at least you know how they were raised, right? They got the same family values.
That's why I looked at it, Mickey. That's why I was like, I was listening to what he was saying, and I was, I lost it when he started talking about cousins. But when he was doing the parent thing, I went, yeah, that dude ain't lying. That's exactly what this is. Your mama is your aunt.
Family reunion ain't got nothing but 6 people at it.
I was about to say the same thing. Family reunion had to be the smallest thing on the face of the planet. There's more people in Kentucky than your family.
Well, not a whole lot though.
Look. At the very least, go look.
Yeah, I told my wife, I was like, if I ever grew up because I grew up military, so I was always on the move. But I was like, that's what those royals do, okay? Inbred for real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We ain't even gonna go there.
But no, I was like, if I grew up in a small town, I would just never date before I left to go to college.
Pretty much.
Just what it would be. I mean,
because you don't know who they are to you. You don't know.
You're going around kissing cousins. That's just, I don't know. But thank you, Mr. Marlin, for a wonderful evening, good sir.
Thank you very much. Where can they find you, Theus?
ComplexSimpleMan.com is the easiest and best way to find me. New podcast just dropped. New podcast episode just dropped, so you can get to that on the website, as well as the new episode that we just did with all the family from Radical Truth to Power, Tracy Media LLC, Social Reality Podcast, and yours truly, Complex Simple Man. So, it was everything's out there. That's the best place to go.
And it was fun too. And if you go look, you'll find out why Theus talked so much on this show. I explained it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, non-conforming individuals, that is our show tonight. Please do not forget to hit that subscribe button. Please do not forget to hit that like button on the way out the door. As a matter of fact, hit that like button right here and right now while we stand. And until
I was the first one to like it today.
Thank you, Theus.
You're welcome. The words of affirmation, see.
Thank you. Yep. Good night, Anna.
Good night.
Good night, Nikki.
Have a wonderful evening, you all.
Thank you, Anna. I appreciate it. Till next time, we'll see you when we see you. Peace.